Hey guys, this is John with Global Archery, creator and founder of Archery Tag, and welcome to our world headquarters here in Ashley, Indiana. I'm going to take a few minutes today to kind of walk you through our products and our system for how we run efficient and safe archery tag games. So stick around. The first target I want to show you is our StickIt targets. This is an incredibly versatile target that is based on this StickIt arrow. The arrow has a magnet embedded inside it, and there's also one inside this disc. The target has the hook part of the hook and loop, while this disc has the loop. So when the arrow hits the target, it leaves your mark on the target. Let me show you how this works, and this is so much fun, and it's fun for people of all ages and all skill levels. Okay, and as you can see, I'm right up close to the target, and the arrows just bounce off the target and hit the floor, okay? Now, also, the other thing that I like about this target is that, let's say you're working with somebody with disabilities or elderly or young people who just don't have that upper body strength to pull that string all the way back. This is a 20-pound longbow, so when I pull it all the way back, I'm pulling 20 pounds. But let's say you can't pull it all the way back. So say you're only just pulling it back just a little bit. Again, they still get that satisfaction of making their mark on the target. One of the other things that's a lot of fun is to teach people how to focus, okay? Especially for somebody that's new to archery. So when I teach them, I don't worry about hitting the bullseye. I just want them to focus on a spot on that target. So I'm gonna focus on that yellow spot right here. Okay, and we'll see how closely I can come to hitting that. Okay, again, if I focus, I should be able to do it. I didn't. So I'll grab one more and we're gonna put it right in there, okay? Fairly close, okay? The other thing I wanna show you about this target is not only can you shoot arrows at it, but you can also throw discs at it, okay? So if somebody doesn't want to shoot arrows, say little kids, like my grandson, he loves just throwing the discs at the target, okay? And again, so you've got another use for it. Another new item we have is our new StickIt axes and darts, okay? So these are made out of a 6-pound cross-link foam, so they're very durable. And they fly really well. And they're pretty accurate. I'm gonna drop this between the black and the gray. Well, okay, a little high there. Now let me show you the darts. So think about all the uses you have for this target. So again, you can see how incredibly fun these targets are. The other really cool thing about these is you can get them in a single-sided bullseye, or you can get them in a double-sided with either zombies on the back. Like here, the zombie face is the only part that's got the hook on it. So we all know when you're zombie hunting, you gotta shoot them in the head, right? Same thing with the fish. Just the body of the fish is the hook part, okay? Again, this is a double-sided target as well. Now, to tear these down, all you gotta do is just pull them apart like that, and then you can pull your side rails out, fold up your legs, and roll it up and put it in your bag, okay? And your bow fits in there, you don't have to tear it down. And so the target itself weighs 16 pounds. With the 2 bows and the arrows in the bag, it weighs 21 pounds. The next target I want to show you is our dummy target. And this is a lot of fun. I like it for a variety of reasons because, again, it's got these 3 different holes, so you can try to shoot through the holes. Or as you can see, I like to put a mask on them. So this is a great Halloween event. You know, you can put a zombie mask or clown mask on them, put them out in your yard or whatever, and have a little zombie hunt or whatever. And the stand is aluminum. It folds up, collapses, so it's very, very portable. The next stand, or the next target I want to show you here is our smackdown target. The smackdown target is, I'd say it's one of my favorites. I like it because it's very portable. I can set it up on any tabletop. In fact, in your next family reunion, you're out at the park, the city park or whatever, set this up on a picnic table and now you're shooting archery in the park, okay? Until they kick you out. The target can also be set up to knock over, or you can put this little bungee behind here. And again, that just makes that target wobble back and forth. We have zombie heads, we have clown heads, we have balloons, and I'll show you how easy they are to replace. There's a fiberglass rod in the back. Just slip that out, pull the target out, pop a new one in, slip the rod through, okay? Incidentally, that's how you tear this thing down. Just take the targets out, and then this is my handle. I can pick it up, drop it into my case with my bow and arrows, and you're good to go. So it's incredibly easy to set up. The other thing I like about this target is it is incredibly durable. This acrylic ramp here is very durable. It does not scratch. Now, as soon as I say that, somebody will take a hammer to it. But in terms of your arrows skimming off there, it does not scratch, as you can see. This base is a solid PVC, so the thing is impervious to the elements. So let me just shoot a couple of arrows at it, kind of show you how that works. I'll start with the clown. For some reason, people like to shoot the clown in the nose, and I don't blame them for that. Now let's shoot the zombie. I'll shoot the one on the right, show you how they knock over, and then I'll shoot the clown next to them and show you how they wobble back and forth. That's called a miss, okay? I was demonstrating what it looks like when you miss, okay? So the next target I want to talk to you about is our HoverBall target. We've had this HoverBall target, I think we've been producing this for over 10 years. And it's very portable. As you can hear the noise in the background, it does have a blower. You have to inflate it. And you've got a constant blower that feeds that air to the cones, okay? And let's go ahead and get this set up. As you can see, it pops up relatively quickly. And then you just take your balls. And the cool thing about this is you can use different size balls. We can use inflatable beach balls, ping pong balls. So there's a lot of variety of what you can use with this HoverBall. So I'll just put a couple balls up here. The other thing I like about it is that you can customize this backdrop. So you can have your own branding, your own sayings. So fairs, festivals, we've had people set these up in movie theaters. Yeah, when there's an archery movie out, they'll go and set this up in a movie theater. We first went in when the movie Hunger Games first came out. We took our stuff into the movie theaters. So just kind of think about some of the creative ways that you could use the HoverBall. So we'll see if we can knock a ball or two down. I was supposed to hit that first time, wasn't I? So, swing and a miss. All right, there. So, we'll quit while I'm ahead. Usually I'm a better shot than that. But this is what I like about the HoverBall, is it's really easy to pick up your arrows. You're not bending over, picking them up off the ground and everything else. In terms of resetting, you just do that. So it packs all down into a bag, okay? And you just kind of let it collapse down on itself. And again, now with the HoverBall, again, it packs into an equipment bag with your blower, your bows, your arrows. You do have to dismantle your bows, and that's the HoverBall. So I'll go over some of the pros and cons on these, but I've got a couple more things I want to show you, okay? Now you remember I showed you the axes and darts for your StickIt target, well, we have a little portable version, okay? We call it our StickIt Stow and Throw for axes and darts. Now, the cool thing about this is it comes with a couple of suction cups. It all packs down to in a little bag, so it's very portable. I take this into schools and I stick it to their whiteboard in the gym class. Kids go nuts over it. So imagine these kids going home and telling their parents, hey, Mom and Dad, I was throwing axes in school today. So again, you got these axes, they're very durable, and you just throw it like you mean it. Hey, I'll take that any day. And then again, same thing with your darts. Well, all right. So again, it's got these suction cups. So it's very portable, easy to set up and tear down, okay? Final target I want to show you is the SinkIt target. So the SinkIt target is a sealed air target. And as you can see, it's got different pockets on it. Each of the pockets has a point value associated with it. So think of this as a great game for carnivals. You know, you score so many points, you win a prize. What we've done in the past is they can turn in their tickets. Say we sell them a arrow for $1, a shot per, you know, a buck a shot. And so for so many points that you accumulate, you can win a prize. And then you can turn those in and you can collect your points. So you can come back, hey, I want another 10 arrows or whatever. And so they can get a bigger prize with more tickets, okay? So again, the concept's really simple. You're just trying to hit the pocket, and we'll see if I can, well, my shooting today is not the greatest, but you can see how this swallows up that arrow, okay? So it is pretty cool. The 15 is pretty hard to hit. So again, it's a great carnival game. Again, this packs down. It comes with an inflator deflator, packs down in the same kind of bag that the HoverBall comes in with the wheel, with the wheels on it. A lot of fun. So now I'm going to kind of go through some of the pros and cons of the different targets. So I would say the most versatile target we have would be our StickIt target. Because again, you can shoot arrows, you can throw the discs, you can throw the axes, you can throw the darts. It's incredibly portable. You don't need power. It's lightweight. I mean, it's got all of the hallmarks of the perfect target. We sell a ton of them, okay? The biggest downside, I would say, to the StickIt, so like when I take that into schools, the kids, you know, they all want to go and grab the arrows, and that's great, okay? And then they want to put the disc back on the arrows. So it takes a little while to get it set up for the next shooters. The dummy, again, that's great. It's got a lot of cool things you can do. You know, just kind of mix it up depending on the year, time of year, whatever. Make some fun, make some challenging games out of that by trying to shoot through the holes in it and everything else. The Smackdown, there's not a lot I don't like about that. In fact, I'd say that's one of my favorites between that and the StickIt. I like it for the sheer portability. I can just set it up anywhere. And the StickIt target, yeah, the little disc, sometimes they can walk off. I've seen them sprout legs and walk off. So that's probably the biggest drawback to the StickIt. The HoverBall, you need access to electricity. So you've got that constant blower. It is noisy, so if you don't want to work around noise, and if you're outside in the wind, it's not very good out in the wind. So those are some considerations to think about with the HoverBall. The Stow and Throw, I love that because I can set it up anywhere. So I take that with me wherever I go. And I actually take the Smackdown with me. I throw the case in the back of my truck and I'm good to go. The SinkIt, again, that's got a lot of pros in terms of doing carnival type games. The downside is you need electricity, you need to inflate it, you need to deflate it, you need to dismantle your bows. So there's a little more setup time with the SinkIt and the HoverBall. Little setup little more setup and tear down with both of those two targets. So now I want to get into talking about archery tag. So as you can see here, this is our arena. And this is a 30 by 62 court, if you will, okay? And this is what we call a regulation size field. We have court tiles on here. These are volleyball tiles. And your middle here is called the neutral zone. That's 18 feet. The yellow lines indicate your attack line. Each team needs to stay behind their yellow line when they're shooting, okay? The other thing I want to point out, and you may have seen old videos of people running out and fighting over the arrows in the middle. You'll see that we have the arrows separated now. So each team will send one runner out to get their arrows, okay? So no more fighting over arrows, no more banging heads when you're reaching down to grab arrows. So again, everything we do, we think about the user experience. Everything I do and everything we create is all about improving that user experience, not only for the player, but for you, the person that's running the games. It's got to be efficient. It's got to be easy to set up and tear down, and it has to be safe, okay? We've been doing this for over 13 years. We've got a stellar safety record, no insurance claims, and we want to keep it that way. So over the course of the 13 years, I've really developed what I call the blueprint. The blueprint for running well-organized, non-chaotic games and events. When I get a school group of 100 kids in here, okay, I don't like chaos. I want it well-organized, I want it safe and orderly, and that's what we do, and that's what I'm going to show you here. So when we look at the field, okay, well, and you see how we got our two sides. I always think of my left as A and my right as B, okay? And we'll kind of get into that a little bit more in here in a minute. And we even mark the field with A and B, okay? The other thing I do that you're gonna notice here, in addition to my scoring, is we have 4 sets of masks here. And our masks have numbers 1 through 5, okay? Now, the reason that I do that is not that we're scoring for each player. We do that in our competitive leagues. But for run-of-the-mill, everyday recreational archery tag, we still score every game. You know, for the first 10 years or so that we were running archery tag, we would run elimination. You know, kind of like dodgeball with bows and arrows. In fact, that's what we used to call it. It's like dodgeball with bows and arrows. So if you got hit, you had to come off the field. To get a player back in, you had to catch an arrow, or we used to have these little targets that looked like a 5 spot, like a dice, okay? So you had to either knock out one of those target spots or you had to catch an arrow. The problem is a lot of newer players, they're not good enough to catch an arrow, or they're too timid, they don't want to get hit, so they hide behind the bunkers, and they're not accurate enough to hit the spot out. So what happens when you get hit? You spend the rest of the time sitting on the sideline. And who wants to do that, right? Okay. So back in 2020, back in 2019, we first started developing our ScoreRite system. And it was really quite unique. You know, we started using it right in the beginning of 2020 when the whole pandemic thing started happening. And we had a group of kids in here from a local church, probably 20 kids or so. And I always start them out at the targets. I always like to see who here's never shot a bow. You always see about half the hands go up. And I remember this one girl, she was just a big girl. I mean, she was about my size and she's a teenager and I'm a big guy. And she just kind of looked sad and, you know, just kind of like raised her hand like, I don't even want to be noticed. So I said, well, come on over here and I'm going to work with you on the targets. So I worked with her on the targets, you know, showing her form and everything. And so I told her, I said, when you're comfortable, I said, I got to go start some games. I said, but when you feel pretty good about your target shooting, you can grab a mask and we'll get you in a game. Honestly, I didn't even think she'd want to play. But lo and behold, she ends up getting out there on the field and she's standing right out there in the middle by that sticker right there. I'm thinking, like, you're not even hiding behind a bunker. course, the other team, they start shooting at her and hitting her. Well, then she started catching arrows. And every time she'd catch an arrow, they'd go up by 3 points, her team. Because you score a point when you hit an opponent, but you score 3 points when you catch, right? So she starts catching these arrows while her team ended up winning. And I'll never forget it. When she came off the field, she's raising her mask off her face. She was high-fiving her teammate, and she had a big old grin on her face. And that was a moment that really hit me like a 2x4 upside the head. Like, wow, for 10 years, we'd been playing elimination. Didn't really think much about it. But that day, I replayed that game in my mind. What if we had played elimination? That girl would have gone out there in the first 15 seconds. She would have been hit. She would have spent the rest of the time sitting on the bench telling herself, yeah, I suck at this too. This is a girl that's already bullied about her weight and her appearance. She's not athletic, but we gave her an opportunity to feel good about herself. And that's what we're all about. We're all about giving people opportunities to have fun, to be safe, and feel good about themselves. But anyway, enough of that. So why do we do the numbers on the mask, okay? So what we do is we run 5-on-5, okay? Now, when we do our competitive leagues, it's a little different, but for the most part, we run 5-on-5, typical archery tag recreational games. The reason we do the numbers is we like to group them in teams of 5, okay? And also, I got a little shortcut here. Think of 5 versus 5, and we run 5 minutes. So 5, 5, 5. Just think 5, 5, 5, okay? And I like to pair them up the same way, okay? Like here you'll see blue and white, and I got black and red, okay? I also will always consistently, when I start a new game, I'll put blue on the right. I'll put red on the right. And I do it over and over again. Why? Because when somebody gets back in line and they get the red mask or the blue mask, they know I'm going to go on the right side of the field, okay? Now also, if I took all these numbers off these masks and I just laid them up on this table and I get a group of 100 kids from a local elementary school or junior high in here, you know, you and I both know what they're going to do. They're all just going to start rushing in and grabbing masks. Then you've got chaos, okay? And then you spend more time trying to get the game set up than you actually do playing the game. Let me give you an example. So you have the kids go out on the field, not really knowing what side to go on. Say, okay, I need 5 over there. No, 5. I don't need 7. I need 2 of you to go over here. Well, then they have to have a little board meeting about which 2 are going to go over there. So they spend 5 minutes debating about which 2 are going to go over here. So again, you spend so much time playing traffic cop. This solves that issue because again, here's your 2 teams, okay? Now, I also want to show you our hardware, our equipment, and the mask. So the mask is a cross-link closed cell foam. What that means to you and I is that it does not soak up any of that nasty old sweat. So when you're playing out in the hot sun in Texas like I did recently, where the heat index was over 100 degrees, they clean up and they're dry, okay? You don't want to put this on after some big old boy had a sweaty head, okay? And they're very incredibly easy to clean. The other thing about these masks is that they adjust to any size head, okay? It's very easy because this is a Velcro one-wrap strap, okay? So you don't have the buckles that you got to slide back and forth like you do on a typical paintball mask. To clean it. So typically when a player comes off the field, they throw their mask up on the table, and then I grab my Lysol wipes, okay? I've got the Clorox up here just to kind of illustrate. These have that bleach smell that I don't like, most people don't like. So use something similar to the Clorox wipes. 1 wipe will clean 5 masks. That's a good rule of thumb, all right? Take your wipe, clean that forehead, the mouth area, inside and out. And then what I do is I take that strap, I call this the tail, I leave that tail hanging out, okay? The reason I do that is number 1, it's a nice visual that, oh, okay, that mask has been clean, okay? Because again, we don't really want to be passing germs on to other players. But number two, when I pass that mask off to the next players, okay, they intuitively will grab a hand, they'll grab a hold of that strap because it's hanging there, right? And then they do this. I watch them do it every day. I do this every day, okay? But if I pass this out like this, like if all I do is clean it, pass it out, they're gonna grab it like this. They think it's elastic. Now, the other unique feature of our mask is that we can nest them together by pushing the strap up into the nose. See, just like that. So again, I've got 5 masks in the same footprint that 2 paintball masks would take, okay? Again, efficiency, ease of use, easy to set up and tear down. But if I pass this mask out to a player like that, they think that they don't understand how the strap works. They think it's too big. So again, leave that tail hanging out. So that's a really good piece of advice. These numbers do attach and detach. They have Velcro on them, okay? I'm going to touch on the arrows a little bit too, okay? So I want to show you our arrows and some of the unique features of our arrows here, okay? Now, we developed our first Archery Tag arrow back in 2011. So we've been doing this a long time. The early models, the foam just pushed on, it would come off. But this foam does not come off. When I'm pulling on it, it's not coming off. To replace this, you have to unscrew it and screw a new one on, okay? So this is it's a heavy density cross-link foam, okay? It's still soft enough that's gonna, not hurt, but it's dense enough to not just get chewed up and destroyed in the first few games. So these will last you a very, very long time, okay? Unless you're playing on asphalt or pavement or something like that, they'll get chewed up. But if you're playing in the grass or you're playing on a smooth floor, they'll last a long, long time. The other unique product that really kind of took our arrows in a whole different direction is the vane knock. The vane knock is something exclusive to us, okay? And we do have a patent on our screw-on tip, by the way. But the vane knock, check this out, okay? I can replace it. So it's not glued on. So again, with typical arrows, you have your vanes or your fletchings that are glued on. You got your hard plastic knock that'll either break or fall out. And when you have a knock inserted inside the shaft and you're smacking that floor and everything like that, that actually cracks the inside of the walls of your shaft, and that's why your knocks fall out over time, okay? We learned that through trial and error. But yeah, you can push a new one on. Sometimes you might need a little soapy water to get that new one on because it's kind of tight. But again, you can see it doesn't come off during normal play. But if you just you got to kind of pull and twist to pull it off, okay? So that's another unique thing. The arrows are very serviceable and they're very durable. I mean, I can step on that. I'm stepping on it right up at the tip. See that? So again, when people think, well, the arrow broke because people are stepping on it. No, they don't. But they do break when people use their bow as a shield to try to whack it out of the air. So we'd say, hey, if it hits your bow, it still counts. Or if you're hitting hard objects. Like if we had metal poles in here and stuff like that, and it hits and smacks that, it can break your arrows. So during the course of normal play, these things are pretty good, okay? Your bow, this is a 28-pound longbow. And again, these things will take a lot of abuse, a lot of shooting. You'll notice that I do hang them up when I leave them unstrung when I'm not using them, but they're pretty easy to string. What I teach people is to grab the handle, just like that, okay? Holding the bow so you can see the writing on there. And then you can put the bottom limb tip into the side of your shoe. You can push out on that limb. See, push out on that top limb while I'm pulling the riser toward me, and then you can slide that string out just like that. To unstring it, you reverse the process, push out, see how I've got that, and then take your finger and just slip that down the limb just like that. Now for you that want to be adventurous, I just put it right inside my thigh, just like that. And easy peasy, just like that, okay? So now I want to show you our bunkers, okay? And we'll show you all this stuff and then we'll follow up with the scoring. So these are called bag bunkers. So this is your obstacle to hide behind, to take cover. You know, most people would think of a typical paintball bunker, which we also have. But I created these because I didn't like inflating and deflating bunkers and having to pack them down in a bag. Because again, if I'm setting up somewhere that doesn't have access to electrical power, that's an issue, okay? So I was doing an event for Facebook one time. We were setting up out on their soccer field. So we had to inflate the bunkers and drag them out there. And the only outlet they had was behind the bushes along the sidewalk, and we're trying to inflate them and people are walking by us. I thought, no, I'm gonna do something different. So I developed the bag bunkers. So last time I went out to Facebook, I took my bag bunkers. So as you can see, the design is really, really simple, okay? Some people like this because they can stash a couple of arrows in here, so that's kind of nice. They do make a nice obstacle to hide behind if you're so inclined to hide, okay? But the other really cool aspect of these is they are designed to hold your equipment, okay? And that's what I love most about them, is it's really easy to set up and tear down. So you notice I had the straps crisscrossed, okay? And that just provides a little bit more stability to these, okay? But let me show you how to tear them down. So you'll see there's Velcro and snaps there. So you just pull that like that and pull that just like that, okay? I didn't like that being crooked. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put my bows in here. See, I'm just gonna lay them in there. Now, if you wanna lay them in here strung, that's fine. I usually will unstring them, but if you're in a hurry to get out of there or the rain starts coming down or something like that, you can certainly do that. What I do is I put the back of the bow toward the bottom of the bunker, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? And then you can do your strap just like that. Tighten it up, buckle your strap, tighten it up, okay? And you just zip it up and it's kind of like a suitcase. There, okay. So again, carry it around wherever you're at. You can, and the other nice thing about these, you can throw them in the back seat of your car. So again, 6 of these, stacks like that, so it takes no room at all. You can throw these up on the shelf, you know, whatever. So when you get set up where you want to go, put the logo, the Archery Tag logo up, okay? And then boy, zipper's sticking on me. Okay, undo your snaps. Throw your bows off to the side. Now, you can do this a couple of ways. If you don't want to crisscross them, you can just do that. Leave those, or you can crisscross them, and that will give you a little bit more stability, okay? So you just got to kind of pull them back through there, okay? Then you take the triangles, and you just take this first snap, just kind of line it up. See? Can you hear that snap? Okay. And you can hear those snaps. So the snaps really are just designed to line you up. See, you can hear that snap. It just helps you line up that Velcro. And then to crisscross these, Just do that. Kind of snug them up a little bit. And there is your bunker. Okay, just like that. Now they do have D-rings on the bottom. So when you're outside, it gets a little windy, you can stake those down with their metal stakes. Okay. And you see, we just set them up in a triangular pattern. Okay, last bit of hardware I'm going to show you here is our inflatable bunkers and then our rapid field. And then we'll get into the scoring. So we've all seen paintball bunkers, right? So when you see people inflate paintball bunkers, they always overinflate them. And they're always roly-poly, and then they got to stake them down so they don't fall over, okay? Now, these do have anchors, and they come with bungees already attached, okay? Our bunkers have a spring valve in here. That spring valve pops out to keep air from going in or coming out. So you attach your inflator-deflator hose to it, you lock it in, you can suck the air out. Then when you pull that hose out, that spring shuts and it keeps any air from going back in. So it's kind of like vacuum sealing. But you're gonna notice that when I inflate my bunkers, I underinflate them. Okay, number one, if you're gonna be outside, the sun is gonna heat them up and they're going to expand. So every now and then you're gonna wanna push on that spring to let some air out, okay? But these will stay very stable without having to stake down. Because again, you got 6 bunkers, 4 stakes, it's 24 stakes you're pounding in. That's a lot of work, okay? Bag bunkers have 3 times 6, so there's 18 versus 24 on the stakes. So, that's the bunkers. Finally, I want to show you our rapid field. So the rapid field is the easiest way to set up your field. So I did an event recently for Orlando Magic on their practice court, okay? So when you're on a basketball court, what's a good way to lay out your field? You're not gonna put duct tape on their field, okay? Well, we have our rapid field. So it's basically webbing with grommets, okay? The yellow is your neutral zone, the orange is your outer perimeter, okay? If you're outside, nice stakes, and these are a really nice metal stake, not some chintzy piece of plastic. So what I do inside, okay, like if you're on a gym floor or whatever, it's got suction cups and bungees. So you run the bungee down through your corner, you put your webbing together, and then you hook that on that, see? So that holds, and there's some give. So if somebody snags it with their foot, it's got some give to it. So that's how you set it up on a floor. So if you are, see, that sticks really well. If you are setting it up on a wood floor, like say the Orlando Magic practice court, and it's got wood slats, most of the slats are a little bit wider than these suction cups. So you don't want to put this on a line. You want to put it between the grooves, okay? There's that. Okay, now let's get into scoring. So like I was talking about earlier, back in 2019, we started developing a way to score games. And in 2020, we really started rolling out. And then, of course, we all know what happened. We had COVID, so we lost a lot of ground there. But since then, we've made so many improvements to this. It's light years ahead of what we started out. I started out with a prototype where we just had push buttons. So let me walk you through this really quick, okay? So let's go ahead and we're gonna start a new game. And I'm gonna pick my team A. Now I've got my saved and my recents. So you can go in here and create your teams. So like when you first get your ScoreRite, you create blue and red. And now if you want to use other names, like say you want to use Captain America for blue, Spider-Man for red, doesn't matter, I've done it both ways. So you would create your team name and your color, and then you hit save. And that shows up in your saved. Or if you're doing an event and you want to go back and use the same names over and over again, you go to your recents, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put white on the left and blue on the right, okay? So that's all you got to do there. This is how simple it is. Remember, A is on my left, B is on the right. In fact, a lot of times, I will go ahead and hold this tablet up. Hey, who wants to help me keep score? And the kids will fight you for this, even the teenagers, because they all want to do this. They're all, you know, they all are very keen on getting their hands on a tablet. So again, the best way to do this is with your thumbs. So remember that, 5 on 5 for 5 minutes. So we start a 5-minute game. So what I do is I also enlist the help of the people that are on the sidelines. Hey guys, on my right, if you see somebody on my right get hit, it's B hit. If they catch an arrow on the right, it's B catch. So again, when B gets hit, A gets the point. B hit, they get the point. B hit, they get another point. B catch, they go up 3 points. Let's lay the scoreboard up here so you can see it up close, personal. All right, so A hit. A hit. So every time one team gets hit, so A gets hit, B gets a strike. A strike is when you hit the opponent. So A hit, A hit, A hit, A hit. A catch, A catch, A catch. Okay, now they're tied, okay? So that's as simple as this scoring system is. I can pause it, say there's a broken arrow or whatever, and you have to pause it. You can take care of that. When we pause the game, what we do is we tell the players to drop their arrows and stay in place, be ready, because then we hit resume, and then they're grabbing their arrows and shooting again. That's a little, it gives them a little shot of adrenaline, you know, when they got to pick up those arrows and start shooting again, okay? So you can also add and remove time, and there's an undo button. So let's say I did a B catch and it was a hit, so I can hit undo. Oh wait, and then hit the hit, okay? You can also pause it, and you can add and remove time in 15-second increments. So let's just go ahead and take a little time off the clock here, okay? And at 30 seconds, if you have a speaker or if it's hooked to a TV, it'll bark at you. 30 seconds. It'll tell you 30 seconds, okay? So let's just go ahead and, we'll go ahead and do a hit. So let's say it ties up at the end, right? Okay, say it's a tie game, and you want to do a tiebreaker, okay? So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, guys, help us collect the arrows. We're going to do a tiebreaker. And you can either do a tiebreaker for a set amount of time, or what I like to do a lot of times is just until the first team scores, okay? So we'll have them switch sides. So here's what happens. They switch sides at 30 seconds, okay? So watch this. So, and this is one of the reasons why I don't get all caught up on team names or colors or whatever. It's just A and B, because at 30 seconds, they cross, and then, okay, we start. And, oh, A catch, okay, so they win, okay? So that's really, in a nutshell, how simple it is to run ScoreRite. Now, let's say you don't have access to all these fancy TVs like we have. Let's say you're out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe you're up in the mountains. I don't have internet. I don't have good cell signal up there. I don't want to drag a generator out there or a TV. Not to worry. Okay, this is your system right here. That's it. This is a computer running Windows 11, and that is your power bank. By the way, this power bank will last you for way, way, way more than a day. I think I've done 8, 10-hour days, and it still has plenty of juice left. So now, everything packs into this bag. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my tablet on here. Incidentally, when you first start up your ScoreRite, you want to make sure that you're not turning on the tablet until you give this time to boot up, okay? because this has its own built-in Wi-Fi, so it's looking for a Wi-Fi signal. And so if this is looking for a Wi-Fi signal that's not out there, it's not going to connect. So as you can see, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start a game here. And so I'm doing, you know, hit and catch and hit and catch. So again, you can do all of this just easy peasy. See, I'm not hooked up to a TV. Or if you want to take it to the next level, this is a monitor. I got this on Amazon. They're about 200 bucks, okay? It's got a built-in battery. So battery life on this is about 6.5 hours, okay? So again, most of your events, as long as they're under 6, like I've got an event coming up this week, tomorrow, we're gonna be set up outside, okay? But here's how this works. So you just plug in your HDMI and voila, okay? So now you got your speaker, okay? Resume, B hit, B hit, B hit, B hit, B hit, okay? So that's how that works. Now I want to show you, so again, everything packs into the bag. It's very portable. In fact, I take my bag and I'll take my wipes and I'll throw them in my bag for the rapid field, okay? So I want to get into a couple more games here that we do, okay? So let's just go ahead and hit new, and I'm going to show you some of the other capabilities of this. It's a lot of fun, okay? But let's go in here under games, and also we have videos. So let me show you videos. So we have a built-in tutorial.
This is Extreme Archery by Archery Tag, the original family-friendly archery sport. Challenge your friends in a match between 2 teams using our specially designed bows.
Okay. So this is really nice because it gives people kind of a good sense. So if you do have a monitor and you've got people waiting to play, this is a great thing to have on that loop, okay? So again, it kind of goes through everything. It goes through the scoring. It goes through the field setup and, you know, how we've got that set up, how you can go out in the middle and get arrows and everything else, okay? So it's a really good video to have.
At the start of the game, one player from each team sprints to the neutral zone.
Again, in here you can adjust your volume up and down too.
And toss the arrows to their teammates, and the game begins.
Okay.
Hits anywhere on the body, including the bow, count as 1 point.
All right. So that's that. Now let's go back into here to game modes. So we've got a lot of different game modes in here. We have Archery Tag. We've got the old style with the 5-spot target. So again, if you're playing, you can hit the target, okay? So it'll score. So if you still have the old 5-spot targets, you can do that as well, okay? And we've got our Archery Tag leagues. So we do a couple of different leagues, okay? So our recreational leagues are basically using your regular Archery Tag equipment, scoring just like I showed you a couple of minutes ago, but it's for people that want to play as a team, like once a week, you know, for 8-week league or whatever you want to set up, we can do that as well. So you can set up whether you want to do a scrimmage match, a regular match, or a tournament. Then we have our competitive leagues. So scrimmage, regular match, or tournament. Then we have our arena challenges. So the EA challenge is what we affectionately call our dummy challenge. Now, if you look down here, you're going to see those dummies, kind of like the one I showed you earlier with the clown mask. So we set up those 4 targets, or those dummies, out on the field, just like it'd be another team of players, okay? So we put 2 of them back there next to the back bunkers. We put 1 back in the middle where that one girl was playing. Then we put up 1 behind the front bunker there. Then on this side, we put 2 arrows on the line, and then we put 2 arrows behind each bunker, and then we put 2 arrows on that line. The player starts out at the back of the field, and then when we hit go, they try to get all 10 arrows to hit the target. A headshot is worth 20 points. A body shot's worth 10. If they hit all 10 arrows on target, they get an extra 10-point bonus, okay? Time bonus is for any time left on the clock, okay? A penalty is if they don't follow that W pattern, okay? So that's the EA challenge, either 1 minute or 2 minutes. So maybe some of your newer players might want to do the 2-minute challenge. Speed shot challenge, that is similar, but what we do there is we put 8 arrows on the ground over on this side, and we put a dummy target on that side. So you're trying to see how quickly you can hit target with the 8 arrows, and they're all on the floor, so you got to bend over and get those. Then we have our HoverBall challenge, 1 or 2 players. This is a great game for team building events, for fundraisers. So the last fundraiser event we did was a golf outing for our local Chamber of Commerce. So we did a 50-50 split of the pot, okay? So each team of 2, it was $20. So $20, they'd slap down their money. We'd put 8 arrows out on the table, and they're trying to see how quickly they can hit those balls down, okay? So then they would come back and they'd see if their buddies beat their score. So then here's another $20. We got to beat Bill and Ted, you know. So it's a lot of fun. And again, just kind of think about some of the creative ways you can use this. So ScoreRite's just not for archery tag. And then so you can do that 1 or 2 players. And then we have the SmackDown for 2 players or 1 player as well. Okay, so let's see. SmackDown, 2 players. Okay, so we got that as well. So we got the SmackDown, and the cool thing is you've got these little leaderboards here, okay? So this is really cool. It shows your leaderboard there. And then, and that's it. We do have a cornhole game, but that's still kind of in development. And then that's pretty much it. Like I said, this is totally portable. I take this with me on the go. And again, whether I have a monitor or not, but if you have a monitor, it is nice because it does give you that sound. Although I've got a little Bluetooth speaker, so if I don't have that or that the battery dies on that, I still have a speaker that's got a lot of volume to it. So that works out really, really well. So that's pretty much our tour, our walkthrough. Thank you so much for taking some time. Hopefully you learned a lot today. And again, I love doing Zoom calls with you guys, but this gives you an opportunity to kind of see things, you get a little better idea about how we run things and how we do things. And I hope that we can work together soon. Thanks for watching.